good.
And here we go. Is it blurry? No, it's not blurry. All right, there we go. So, hey, Sean, what's up, man? Welcome, guys, to another episode of Let's Talk Gundam. We're going to be actually changing that, I think, to call it Let's Talk Gunpla. Gunpla, because YouTube seems to be much more friendly with that. This is Eddie reporting live from inside of Flynn's, located in Margate, Florida. We are joined with a special guest today, Sean, here, right here. He's going to be talking about Warhammer. We're going to be talking about Warhammer today. And then Ben down on the end. And Ben, where can they find you if they want to talk to you? I know your information's here, but it's smart to repeat it.
Ben, aka Uberscosplay. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook as Uberscosplay, Uberscosplay. And I'm also here at Flynn's pretty much every Thursday night for Build and Paint Night. And if you're on the Discord, you can also tag me and hit me up there.
Yes, thanks for reminding me. The Discord's really important, guys. It's in the link, so be sure, it's in the description. Be sure to join the Discord. I was actually talking to Greets Gunpla Christos, and he actually didn't even know we had Discord.
Yes, if you're part of the club or if you're interested in Gundam, get on the Discord, because I'm also putting all the updates on there, what we're pre-ordering, what's coming, all that good stuff.
So it's really cool, guys, that you're able to join us, be a part of the Discord. It's called The Grid, aka, for Tron, obviously, for obvious reasons. So be sure to join us that. Remember, we open on Tuesday back at 5 p.m. for $10 Tuesdays, unlimited play in honor of Grand Prix Racerama that no longer exists anymore. I think they built a shopping plaza there. That's pitiful. But anyways, so join us on Tuesday, and then we have some upcoming events, too, just to lead with. On Wednesday, this Wednesday, Veterans Day, any active or retired service members with the proper ID play for free at Flynn's from 5 p.m. to midnight. Also, that's the same night as Open Table Night. So if you want to have any open table games, meaning like tabletop games, totally cool. And then Friday is Friday the 13th. So we have $13 play all day. I'm doing like a spooky boba tea thing and some limited edition stickers that are free. And then we have our fall family fun day on the 21st. And then we have a couple other events scattered around with like some alternative photos for the holidays outside of Santa Claus and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. Hey guys. Okay, cool. So I can actually see your comments, Ben.
Okay, cool.
So I can see them too. So I'll make note of them if we have people commenting, just in case you don't catch them.
All right.
But anyways, thanks guys for you guys to tune in. And we want to lead the show with what we talk about with our Gundam Club. We are gaining more and more members. And so I'll let Ben kind of take the lead on that. Yes, I agree, Sean.
Right. So if you guys aren't already aware, Flynn's has a club we call the Flynn's Gundam Hangar Club. The club has a lot of benefits and perks. First of all, it's $25 a month, but you get a lot of benefits with that. You get a 10% discount on all the Gundam models that we sell here at Flynn's, as well as the concessions, the drinks, the snacks, all that good stuff. You get access to our distributor once a month when we do an order. So you'll get access to a lot of stuff that you may not see too often, rare kits, and you also get a really good price on it through us. You get to play for free on Thursdays, so if you want to come in here early on the Build and Paint Night and just check out the arcade, play some of these great cabinets and stuff, you can do that. You also get a deal where when you buy 5 kits on different days, you get a half-off coupon when you buy another kit the next time.
Of equal or lesser value.
Of equal or lesser value. But between that and the distributor order, I mean, it's already pays for itself.
100%.
You also get a monthly care package, and the care package could be a couple different things. It could be a small tool.
Last month it was the fine paintbrush thing.
Fine paintbrush and a micron liner pen for details.
It was.
Really enjoyed those.
Yeah, it could be all kinds of things, and we're gonna mix it up. Every now and then it's gonna be different things, like T-shirts, stuff like that.
Exactly.
You also get access to an exclusive Discord channel, the one we were mentioning before, which is just for club members. That's where I put up information about when the club order is coming up, or maybe pre-orders that are coming up, some cool things that I think we should get that you guys can keep your ear to the ground for. And whenever we do events, be it like family nights or like Gundam classes we're talking about doing in the future, early access for any members of the club to these events. You'll get first crack at joining these events when they start up.
100%. And then, guys, what you're seeing on your screen is actually the website. It's super simple, flynsgaming.com/Gundam.
Right.
And you just go to the website. This little video that Ben and I made explains a little bit more of it. And then you can choose here, name, email, phone number, shirt size, as I begin to work on the shirts again, where you'd like mailing address. if we need to mail you stuff, and then you can kind of choose how you want to pay for it. I am working on an automated payment feature, like a gym membership or like a Netflix account.
Right.
But it's going to take obviously a little time to get that up and running. So we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see what comes about that. And if you're watching on Twitch, I completely forgot to mention this last time. If you're watching on Twitch, by all means, please do follow us. The more followers we have, the better. That's totally awesome. And it also kind of keeps you posted what's going on at Flynn's. In general, but Ben, you have actually some of the care package stuff that we haven't announced to our members yet, but you do have it. So you want me to zoom into camera 2?
Go ahead and zoom on to camera 2.
Okay, here we go. Bam!
Boosh. See if I can use your little Warhammer guys for these. These are God Hand sanders. Ooh. These are pretty much the best sanders you can get for model kits and scale models. These we got directly from a distributor, and in the next care package, everyone should be getting one set of these. They're sanding sponges, and these are in fine and in a more coarse grit for doing like heavy removal. But these are really good for doing polishing on Gundam models and removing nubs, making everything a little more clean on your model. These are really good to have. So if you're a club member, be looking forward to these. Probably be doing it on the 15th, maybe another day.
Yes.
But we'll do it on
We'll probably do it on the next, not this paint and build night, but the next one.
Yeah, but one of the upcoming build and paint nights, make sure you come by to pick up these sanders.
Yes, and to make your monthly payments.
Yeah,
that always helps. And actually it's really cool because what we're beginning to see is a more fluid supply of the kits. So,
yeah, things are picking up now. We got, I think, 400 things on pre-order now.
Yeah, I think Will said like close to 500.
Yeah, we got
530.
We got stuff coming in from now to the beginning of next year, and it's more stuff. It's more varied stuff, and it's a lot of stuff that people have been asking about.
Yes,
not just Gundam.
Hey, Fred.
Evangelion kits, all kinds of stuff.
And we'll actually be kind of stocking up because we're planning something super special, hopefully for the first convention of the year. So we'll get more into that later as the confirmation comes down the pipe.
Can't wait for cons.
Yeah, I think everybody is super stoked.
I need to be exhausted in a hotel lobby
to join those. Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. You get that con funk.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but anyways, guys. So we are here with Sean, and this is, as you guys can see through the title, Warhammer Invade. Let's Talk Gundam. Here at Flynn's, because we wanted to begin to integrate that there's more than just tabletop, not more than just Gundam building happening at Flynn's on our paint and build nights, which is every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Totally free to join us. We also have beer and wine, snacks, things like that people would partake in. So before we get into the Warhammer stuff, Ben, did you have any stuff about the kits that you wanted to make reference to that you have on the table?
No, actually, I'm going to bring this guy up a little bit later when he talks about his stuff. But
okay.
I want to let Sean introduce himself and talk about some of his things.
And so, Sean, please introduce yourself. And if you want people to be able to harass you and follow you, you can tell them where to find you on social media. I'll put it here.
My name's Sean. You can find me on Instagram with Blandish, starting with an 8 because somebody else took the name years ago. It's cool.
That's how I remember. Because I'm always like, it's an 8 first.
Yeah.
So.
It makes it a little more unique, which I like. Pretty much just sitting here, coming here, talking about the Warhammer universe. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the mech people might like the Tau.
You can, that's the camera's a little more zoomed in for that one.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
And you can back it up. There you go. Perfect. Beautiful.
So, this particular race is pretty new for the Warhammer universe. Maybe 1,000 years old for the lure, but they rely on technology and use battle suits, which is pretty amazing.
So tell us a little bit about Warhammer for people that maybe aren't familiar with it. Like, what is Warhammer?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Man, that is kind of a tough.
Well, I know it's kind of like Gundam, where it's like an expanding thing. It's like a game. It's got shows. It's got comics. It's got all kinds of stuff.
The lure, it doesn't have that many shows. It has a lot of books. Mm-hmm. The books span a lot of novels. A lot of video.
You're talking about like novels, like novel books, like books you read.
There are. I can probably spend about $2,000 on the books
that's a lot of books
they produce.
And you don't need to read the books necessarily to play the game.
No,
okay.
definitely not. But it does help with the knowledge of just the universe.
Okay,
of where
right
this
on.
comes from.
Right on.
They have different factions, which are obviously the Tau, the Mecha Boys, undead robots, Necrons, the Custodes, and the Space Marines.
So tell us a little bit about the setting.
The setting is a grim, dark future where it's 41 million years, I think, or 41K from our current year.
So way distant future.
Yes, yeah. Kind of like Star Wars.
Why does
in a
everything
sense.
seem to suck so down the future? You know, like
You've
it's
been
like
watching the news?
inevitable. Yeah.
Well, it's just how
Hey,
things
Carlos.
happen.
I don't think it's going to take
Okay,
us that long.
so 40,000, 40K,
41. We're at 41 now.
Okay.
The current lure is at 41 now.
Right.
The new codex for the Necron is 9th edition. It just came out.
Okay, perfect.
So
Yeah, there you go.
unfortunately,
Perfect. Bam.
I don't know that much about the new current codex.
Okay.
Which
And what's the codex? Well, what is it exactly?
It's-
Like a codex? What is the codex?
It's got the lure, all the info, all the. Here, we can open up the
Yeah, for
Tyranids.
sure.
Tyranids for Will. Yeah. It will give you particular units.
So this is like an introduction to this particular faction.
Oh, there's no introduction. It full on tells you every little tidbit. An introduction would be the little books that I have here, which are, excuse me, which I do want to talk about is Kill Team. This is something that I wanted to talk about first.
Okay, go for it.
Kill Team is a very small, fast game that you can play with Warhammer.
Okay.
It takes about maybe 5 units, I think, is the max or the minimum that you can have, and then you can start upgrading a little more.
So it's like squad combat.
Yes, and you have specialized units, as you can see up here on the top.
That you can
Put it
choose
forward in
from.
front of the mic.
Can you choose from? Can you choose from just these?
You can mix and match. I have I don't know about the new roles
Right.
at this particular moment.
Okay.
But you do want to try to get specialized units that have particular weapons, grenades. Everything costs points.
Okay.
So you do have to build up a point system for your particular detachment.
So you can't have like just a squad of all heavy armor guys. It'd have
Normally
to be,
not,
Has to be like
because-
has to have a variety of like a mix.
Yes.
Huh.
Right.
So, and
So this manual you would read in order to understand how to
Yeah.
play a kill team game.
and they also they did provide bases with the, and it shows you the layout. So usually you have
Here, show them on camera too, like that. Let's see what it looks like.
so you have a zone
Perfect.
where you set up your army,
Right.
and I think it's 7 inches from each other.
So just like a small tabletop
Yeah,
area.
yeah. It would probably fill up about half this table.
Uh-huh.
So it's very close quarters.
Yes.
Huh.
Very, very accessible. Pretty cheap. I think I bought this particular set for $40 to $50.
And that's the rules, and then the little figures as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Nice.
But
And how long does a game take to like get through?
maybe an hour.
Oh, that's not that bad.
So
at
It's
all.
not that bad.
it's-
That's pretty quick.
Because
Very
some
quick.
of the bigger point games, like 1,000 points, 1,500, 2,000, and then you can start getting to Apocalypse, where you get Gundam size models.
Like big stuff.
Yeah.
Tanks and robots and junk.
Yes.
Nice.
Man, so you could start if you're starting off like Ben was asking, if you're starting off and you're like interested into the Warhammer idea, you know, playing the game, where would you recommend a person start? Like ground level, like where do you go?
Kill Team or the Start Collecting box.
Start collecting box.
Like,
Yeah,
like a starter kit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will definitely give you the most bang for your buck.
Okay. It was right here.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I hear it all the
Thank
time.
you so much for
whenever I
liking
wa-
the stream.
Whenever I watch you, I hear this.
Gerardo.
And it's just, but anyways, but they also have data cards,
Okay.
which you can use stratagems and use your command points to boost up your army. So I believe you get 5 command points. I have not opened this yet. This is an old. You can open it up if you want.
So this is like a trading card game expansion for it?
No.
Do you want to show people on the camera what it looks like so they can kind of like recognize what the case would look like if they're looking for this? So, what exactly? Why would you have these cards? What's the point? Of
To
them?
boost your army up.
But not everyone has these, right? This is like
Every army would have these.
oh, so this is some. I didn't know these were even part of the game.
This is something that I was just researching over the weekend, so forgive me that I did not have time to
That's all right.
That's
Don't
okay.
worry about
research,
it.
especially with the hurricane going on, and going to my mom's house and cleaning up her place. But so you get a command point.
Right.
So you get a Astra Militarum tactic that uses to start the first battle round. Choose a Militarum Tempest model from where kill team that is on the battlefield. The model can immediately make a normal move as if there were movement phase. But
Okay.
instead of moving up to their character, they move up to 2d6. So think of a Dungeons and Dragons to where you have to roll 2 dice up to 6 numbers.
Right. Okay. So they give you like little abilities.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
It adds that level of like random chance to the game.
Yes.
So you have to have the cards to play it.
Normally, yes, you do.
Okay. Huh. See, I didn't know that. I knew there were dice involved, but I didn't know there was actually a card component.
So that comes with so Sean, the little deck of cards comes with your kill team
Yes.
booklet,
Yes.
along with the men.
Yes.
So these are the
The
ones that
character,
came with the
the
kill
fighters.
team.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And when you're playing the Warhammer, there are different phases. You get a movement phase.
Right.
You get a psyker phase. Not every race has psychic abilities. Like Tau, they lack psychic abilities because they're more technology.
Okay, so they make up for it in other areas.
Same thing with the Necron.
Okay.
Then you get the,
No psychic powers if you're dead.
yeah. Movement phase. Wait, so movement phase, psyker phase, attack phase. You can do a charge phase, so you can do melee. So if your race is very good at melee, they can just charge your foes.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess
All right,
that's
makes
the
sense.
orcs, right?
Makes sense. 100%.
So I know a little bit about Warhammer, but it's pretty much just things I picked up here and there from memes and stuff on the internet.
You are very right on. The orcs are very good at melee.
Yeah.
So you're able to. So you could start the game either with the kill team with like a very simple, not simple, but a fairly low budget, $40 or so, and that'll start you into a game that's very quick paced. It's very 1, 2, 3, and then it's done.
And then there's also the Necromunda.
Okay, so you have, and the Necromunda is
A offshoot of Warhammer 40k.
okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you can rock out just this box for $35.
Okay.
Not bad. And it comes with all those little guys.
It comes with 10.
10 guys for $30. Not bad.
So what's kind of cool about the old Citadel or Games Workshop, they actually give you the color scheme.
Oh,
Yeah, kind of like the Gundam in the back.
yeah.
They
So
have
they give
the
you like a
colors.
guide if you wanted to do it like they look on the box.
Yes. So I also wanted to mention this. Here is one of the Kill Team booklets. It comes with territory stuff, if you can see here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, these are
And-
actually like little things you build.
Yes. And it has a very, very good sheet for you building stuff. And they give you a lot of extra bits, so you can always kit bash stuff.
So so give you some options for
Yes.
customization and stuff like that.
Look how many heads there are.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
And different combinations of the weapons and the arms and things like that.
and if you look at the one of the last pages, they give you all the rules for it. They have strength, vulnerability saves, melee, how far they can move.
So the limits of each unit.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And usually when you come out on a board, you have to have a tape measure, so they can only move so far on a tape measure.
Ah, okay. I thought it was like grid based, like it was like a hex-based system. So it
Definitely
actually is just you whip out a measure.
Yeah,
okay.
you about a tape measure, yeah.
Yeah,
And then you
I-
also have like something for blast radiuses too.
Not anymore.
No?
they
Not
got
anymore?
they got
Okay,
rid of
really.
that.
A lot of people complained about it. I
I
guess.
have no idea. I when I got into it, it's like, oh, cool, all these little green discs, and it's like, no, that's
So we have some questions coming through as with the whole Warhammer thing. So Gunsmith, I don't know if this is true or like he's asking a question or what. He's like, go watch Asterisk on YouTube. I don't know if he's
Oh, that is a very cool fan made.
video.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is-
cool.
It's very cool.
All right, well, hey, then go watch it. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you could watch that. And Sean is asking, how do the limits change when you kit bash them? Does it matter? Do they change at all?
If you have somebody cool that doesn't mind that the thing looks like a particular weapon or a person, and you set the rules that this has this particular weapon, they're cool with that.
Okay.
Normally.
So it's kind of like D&D. It depends on the DM.
Yeah.
What they're willing to roll with. But if you had it like, okay, this guy may look like this, but here are his stats.
Yes.
And if they're within the confines of the rules, they'll usually let it go.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Unless
not
if
that
you get somebody that's really pushing.
Well, every fandom's going to have some people that are very
exactly.
purist.
Like a hardcore. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect word, purist, you know?
But from what
His eye looks funny. It's like, oh, come on.
from what I understand too, there's a lot of people that buy these just to make the models and don't even play the game.
That's me.
That's
to be
really-
honest, I have a lot of models that I spent a lot of money on, and I painted them, and I have not played much of the game.
I mean, I gotta admit they look pretty gnarly. I know there's a lot of different factions and everything. There's like dozens, aren't there?
But couldn't even count them right off the top of my head.
And they're all playable.
Yes.
So nothing has been banned or like modified,
I
like
have-
your like restrictions on power or stuff like that. Like, you know, like with card games, you know, they'll begin creating a ban
yes.
list of
There-
what you
there
cannot
are,
use.
There are units that get banned, and unfortunate, Games Workshop decides what they want to do and what they want to ban.
Huh.
And they want to try to make money because that's what a company's for. But for the standpoint, if you're okay with the person that you're playing with, you can even play old editions.
Okay.
You can
Right.
have a 6th edition book, and if you understand with the person that you're playing with, and they're okay with that,
Yeah.
Well, we
It's-
had a question. No packs needed says, I thought that Warhammer 40k series was just a bunch of shoot 'em ups, tear 'em ups. Man, was I wrong.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
know there's a bunch of video games for it. I've really only played one, and that was like Fire Warrior on PS2 way back when.
you're missing out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of better ones, but
I've seen ones there's like Space Hulk and there's Space Marine, and which is like basically like it looks like Doom when I see it because of how violent it is.
well, it's the grim dark. As this book says, in the grim dark of the far future, there's only war.
dang.
Yeah, peace doesn't seem like it's an option. But you brought in quite a selection of these little guys here from various different factions. Why don't you pick one and just tell us like a little bit about the faction and the unit and maybe some of the things you did to customize the figure?
Mainly the only one that I've customized and did a kit bash with
There you go.
was, I'm going to get called a heretic for this, but I'm okay with that. It is a Tau
You
human.
back it up just a little bit.
Oh.
There you go. So you can focus on it. It'll focus. There you go.
So this is a Tau human fighter. The Tau are known for the greater good. That's what they are about. So they will indoctrinate other races, if they can, into fighting for the greater good. And
Is that like a willing thing? Do they convince
Or
them,
like
or do
the
they
Borg.
mind control?
no, I don't think there's any mind control.
It's like the Borg. They just kind of absorb you.
No.
Oh, okay.
So they convince some people through diplomacy.
Yeah, and they
Some people.
in the lure that they were doing a lot of trading with the human race. They gotten away from the Imperium of Man, which is the normal.
Yeah, because from what I understand, the lore, the humans really aren't the nice guys you
Oh
want
no,
to deal with.
they're very xenophobic.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
pretty tough dudes.
Well, probably does this war take place on planet Earth?
No,
Is planet Earth even in the picture?
yes. There's the God Emperor that sits on the throne on Terra, is what they call it, Holy Terra.
Okay.
It's really long lore for this, so I don't want to dabble in that yet. So we will just talk about the race. So now we have one of. There you go. I made this base myself with corkboard and
Really?
built up the paint on it. And
Nice.
since it is a salamander, which are they love fire and lava, and their skin scaly like lizards. So I thought it was fitting to have it a lava base.
No, I like that.
And this is one of the more beefier of the Adaptus Adaptus Astartes, excuse me. That's in a Terminator armor.
Yeah, I love that big beefy armor he's got on.
So kind of think of the way a Spartan is from Halo.
Okay.
They are pretty much picked up as a normal human.
I'm gonna put one guy on here
They
at a
get
time.
modified. They get metal injected in their bones, cybernetics, and a power armor.
Yeah, like a Space Marine, when they're done, they're like 8 feet tall and 400 pounds or something, ain't they?
No, yeah.
And they're like fused with that armor. There's no
No,
taking
no,
it
no,
off.
no.
You can take it off?
I believe they can. If that video that that gentleman had mentioned, it
Yeah,
shows them, if I'm not mistaken, getting armor put on them.
Huh. Nice.
Just trying to-
Gunsmith says there is some mind control in the Tau.
From the Astral class, I believe, but it's not.
Considered a psychic
That's not
ability.
blurry, right? I just
Oh,
wanna make sure
It's
everyone
not
can see
like
it.
blurry. It's a little dark, but it's okay.
It's never been really confirmed.
Okay. But still, I mean, the simple modifications, talking more on the artistic side of things, the simple modification was you added cork to the base
Yes.
before you put the model on.
Yes.
And then you built up, and I've heard that term before in painting, specifically minis, when you say build up the paint, because I know with Citadel paints and these like paints for these Warhammer stuff, there is, they make it very user friendly, where it's on the bottle, where it says like shadowing or like build up or base or whatever.
Yes. They will have a base coat, or it'll say base or a layer. Usually,
Okay.
you want to put a base on your. You always want to primer the mini.
Right,
First
right.
of all.
Trying to get this thing to focus.
Put your hand behind it,
Behind what?
behind the character. Sometimes it needs something to go off of. There you go, like that. See? Now it comes into focus because it's focusing on the item in the center.
Maybe we should put something behind him.
We don't have anything to put behind
Probably.
it.
I
You
got,
could-
I
you
got
could-
an idea.
Okay, so Ben got an idea.
No, that's
Ben
not
got
one.
an idea. Bam!
There you go.
Box. Put it in the box.
Actually, it'd probably be better in the box.
Just see if that helps.
It helps a little bit. It helps a little bit. We're working on the focus thing, guys. But you were saying, so with the and Citadel, I'm just using as one brand of paint, but
Yeah,
with
I
the
would,
building
I
it
would
up.
not rely on a particular brand of paint to
Mm-hmm.
mark off what you should do for your painting scheme. I definitely recommend branching out and checking out different paint companies and different paints.
But when you say build up, what exactly with phone light behind it? Sean says put it in the box with the phone light behind it. Okay. Well, Ben's gonna work on that. So, but with the building up, you mean basically building up the paint color.
Yes.
To where you want it. Because I see like the lava, it's like yellows, reds, oranges.
So what I first started with that was I put the cork down.
Right.
Then I primered it black.
Right.
And then I put a big slab of red base coat.
Okay.
And then I started building up with orange,
Right.
yellow, and then I started dry brushing the corners of the cork to bring out a glowing effect.
Okay.
Pretty new to me, first one I ever did, and I'm pretty sure it came out pretty good.
No, it looks top notch. I mean, with the quirk and the added effects. But the simple thing is, same thing with the Gundam, is that by adding these little subtleties, they can make the kit stand out a little bit more.
Most definitely.
So how much time do you think you have into painting and building that kit?
The base was probably 2 hours, roughly. Just trying to make it the best I could.
That's a long time. Yeah, of course. But this is one combatant in your greater army.
Yes.
How many pieces would an army like this have in it? For this particular, is it called a race or a class?
Well, it's the Adaptus Astartes. Depends on how big you want your points. With 500, you're probably looking at 12 units.
Okay.
Camera's just too blurry.
And
I
then-
can't do much with it.
And then you could start building up more, and you get 2,000 points, and you start getting to the size of Gundam size mechs.
Okay.
Because they also do have mechs,
Okay.
and they call them knights.
Yeah, here's one of the mechs you have from the Tau, right?
Yes. And it's pretty
There
cool.
you go. It looks
because
much. It's getting better.
It
Bring
actually
it close. There
it,
you go.
It actually opens up, and you can see the
There
guy
you go.
inside.
There we go, guys.
I know you can't see it, but I did paint the inside, and I did paint the dude, but his head fell off because I did not glue him.
Yes, that is one thing to bring up, though. This is different than Gundam because these don't snap together. You have to glue them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and most of these are static. Like they don't really have any
Articulations,
moving parts, right?
No.
Holy crap! That's
There
gonna
are
be.
there are a few models that actually have moving parts, like the tank that's in front of me. The guns actually move.
There you go,
right to
Ben.
left.
There you go. That looks good, man. That looks good.
I keep saying no. Dude, sorry, guys.
That's okay.
It's all right. So, but this one, the arms don't move, the legs don't move. It's static
The
entirely.
only
Other than
thing
the
that
little
moves
hatch.
on this is the hatch and the.
Oh, like
this.
the revolving
That's
barrel.
pretty
on the-
dope. So every time you shoot, you got to move it once. You just go.
If I want to. If I want to. But the new models are actually coming to be snap to fit. So they are moving towards.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. Which I did bring a little selection.
Snap to
that-
fit, really?
Yeah.
So no glue will be necessary.
No. No glue.
But man, those I would like those ball joints for the arms must be tiny. So you put a lot of pressure on that snap to fit.
It can
It
be.
would snap off.
Usually they're not ball joints. They're actually press fit, usually on the chest,
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
leg area.
Dang. Man, that's crazy. And so this one, what'd you do? Base coat and then colored, or did you not do this one?
I did a black primer.
Black primer, and then you just did the red on
Kind
top.
of messed around with the red and gray, and ended up finding that it was a really good faction, which is called the Farsight faction, or the Enclave. Or
Okay.
Enclave? Anyways, they actually like melee, and that's very rare for Tau.
They like to
see
get up
it?
close and personal, huh?
Yeah, well, the particular leader of their following is very close and personal.
So they must, so even though they're big, they're fast.
Yes.
Ah, but I don't see any melee weapons necessarily.
Normally they don't.
Ah.
So they
But the
have,
feet are kind of like an ostrich, you know, like
Yes.
like a velociraptor.
I wouldn't want to get kicked by this
well,
guy.
most of their
No.
race, their feet are set the same way.
Yeah, they're,
So
they're
it
like
does-
they got the digigrade legs.
Yes.
Dang.
Right. Yeah.
No
So-
nose, blue face.
So with this kit, time into it from start to finish.
That's not finished.
Well, I
but-
know where it's at. Right? Okay, from where it's at now. I'm just trying to give people an idea of that it's totally doable.
You can knock out a model this size probably in 2 days.
In
Fully
2 days.
painted, fully painted. If you just primer it properly, get your base coat that you want, and then start building up the colors you want.
And what kind of primer do you use when you prime your?
I use the Army's painter. I like my black primer that I get from them because it always lays down very good.
Okay.
And it does not cake up even with the humidity of Florida.
Nice.
I've noticed with the gray and white primer that I sprayed on quite a few times that it chalks up because of the humidity.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah. the problems of painting basically a giant swamp.
Yeah.
All right, so that's running the Tau units. You got quite a few little guys from different factions, but I keep on looking at this bad boy right here, so I want to show this one off.
Oh yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, this is more my speed.
You can also show
Can you make
some-
an army just in vehicles?
I do not know.
That would
I
probably be
think-
a very expensive army.
But I'd say it like, all right, I put my tanks down on the table.
Yeah, like, this is more my speed. Now, say I wanted to get into this hobby, but I just like the model of a tank. What does one of these ones cost you?
If you can find it, about $100.
$100. Wow.
Holy moly!
But I like the look of it. It's like it's very it's obviously like you say this is all distant future, but it's obviously very World War I style,
Yeah,
and it's
100%.
look like it's got that classic British rhomboid shape for crossing trenches. So tell us about how do the vehicles work in the game and everything like that. I assume they have like a whole different set of rules just for them, right?
Oh, of course. They have a little more built up body armor, obviously.
Yeah, take a little more punishment.
Oh, definitely. But you'd be surprised what these little units can really mess up these tanks.
But just like in real life, a guy runs up with an anti-tank gun or
Or
a
sticky bomb.
a sticky bomb, or a Sturmfaust in the weak side or rear armor. You
Yeah,
could-
once you blow the track, now it's like immobile. You,
oh, there you go too.
can't can't keep moving forward.
I've actually never
Sneaky
noticed
Ed.
to where the tracks get blown off, but they have life points like every other unit, and they can get taken
And how
out.
high are these life points on this particular one?
With the new rules, I do not know, unfortunately.
Oh.
So it's I don't want to say something and then it'd be totally wrong.
So with Warhammer, I was talking to someone who plays Warhammer. I forget who I was talking to. It might have been you, but it might have been someone else. But they were talking about Warhammer being a pay-to-win kind of game, where if you have enough money to throw at it, and you have enough know-how of what to buy, and you have the unlimited capital, you
Yes.
could literally go into a battle and win it
Yes.
9 times out of 10.
Yes. I think that's why they're trying to do with the new update, the new
Okay.
edition, is
Okay.
try to nerf stuff, make the Necrons, which are my personal favorite, have gotten a big boost, a bunch of new units.
Let's put some of the Necrons down while you're talking about
So since it's based on, because I played 40K for 15, 17 years ago, is like I played it a little bit, but the thing is with the point system, so every character is allotted a certain amount of points, and it gets knocked down as he attacks. As it gets barraged or no?
No.
'Cause I can't remember all the
So
way.
this particular unit could
Yeah.
probably, I haven't looked it up yet, sorry.
It's okay.
It's about
There you go, Ben. Good.
40 plus points.
Okay.
And depending on what weapons you want to bring with them,
Right.
and grenades or extra attachments for that particular unit you want to bring on there, it's going to add up onto the points.
Okay. And then the points, how do you
Stack.
They stack up.
Yeah. And then you get detachments, so you can kind of consolidate some of your points with having a little detachment of an army. So those guys stay together. And then you have another detachment that has another.
And as you get attacked, those points go down.
No.
So how do you win?
You
What's the
either
objective?
you take an HQ,
Okay.
and or you obliterate your enemy.
the last man standing.
So like with
Yeah.
the kill team, it would be the last man standing kind of
Usually.
thing.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they have objectives.
Okay, so it's not just brute force.
No,
It's not just making a. Okay, so there can be objectives to meet,
Yeah.
and once those objectives are met, then you win.
yes.
Okay.
There's also scenario missions that you can play with the kill team,
Right.
or just domination. And I forgot what the other one is. I'm sorry.
No. It sounds so. There's multiple ways to earn to win the game.
Yeah, depending on how you want to set up the match with somebody.
Is there such a thing as like a Pyrrhic victory?
I don't know. I have not looked into that yet, but I could
What do you
see
mean by
that
that,
being.
A Pyrrhic victory is like a victory where it's like you won, but you destroyed your entire society in the win.
Oh, like I'm the final person, but
Like
everything's
I won.
dead.
I can't feed anybody now. I wasted everything on the war.
Oh my gosh, kind of like what Germany did. So it's
More or
like,
less. Yeah, it's like, even if they had won, they wouldn't have had very much to stand on afterwards.
No. So okay, so it makes sense. But if one person wanted to get, because we try to break it down very simply. So if you want to get into Warhammer, you could get a kill team set, $40 plus or minus, and be off to the races. And you could play a very short, quick game with the basic components of a larger game.
Yes.
And
You would need to get some dice.
Okay, you
and
get some
would
dice.
need to get a tape measure. Other
Okay,
than that,
that's easy.
You would be okay because it does provide the base rules for you,
Okay.
and you can just move from there.
Okay, and then if you say, you know what, I want to go a little bit more heavy, like I want to get into it more deeper.
Start collecting box would be
Start
your
collecting
next.
bucks.
Yeah,
And that'd be like what of an investment for
$85
just for the box.
and they give you quite a few units. I think 20 plus, give or take, depending on the race.
And then you got to get the codex.
Or you can get Battle Scribe.
Okay,
Battle Scribe
Battlescribe.
is a free app that you can get. Unfortunately, it does get updated a little slowly, but it is free and it is current on the rules for what came out last 2 weeks.
Okay. And you pull up the rules on the phone.
Yes.
Huh.
And it also will give you info on building your army. You can poke around on it at fun like I do to see what weapons work and how many points that I can build on what I have.
All right. So if you wanted to play, so this game, because I see a lot of tabletop gaming, obviously there's rankings. You know what I'm saying? You play to meet an objective, or you play to get better and higher ranked. How does it work the same way with Warhammer? Like, are there sanctioned tournaments?
There are a lot with the COVID stuff going on. It hasn't been happening as much as we would all like. But if you want to get into a ranked match with somebody, it is feasible.
Okay, to do a ranked match.
Yeah.
But is there like an overall ranking deity that handles all the rankings, or is it more internalized?
It depends
wherever
on
you're
the
at?
shop that you go to.
Cool.
as you
So
were
Flynn's will
saying.
have its own ranking on Warhammer.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken,
That'd be dope.
We'll call it the pleb tier.
I believe Tate's was doing that with another hobby shop, and they were going in conjunction on having ranked matches with people. Tate's didn't follow through, from what I understand, so I don't know what happened with that.
All right, well, we'll have to definitely look into that because the whole thing is really interesting to build the army and stand in power. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm number one, of how it's set up. Now, with the bases, I've been to places that the base, the land that in which you're fighting on, is extremely advanced. So, all right, so here we go. So, an example of a terrain.
Back. Go ahead and put it on the center.
Yeah.
Bam.
So this is something that I made a while back.
Let me see how that looks in there.
The light looks good. Just push it back just a little bit, and you're good to go. Put a person on it so they can see the scale.
Oh, hang on. Let's move this whole thing back a bit.
Bam.
Watch the mic. There's all these little monsters everywhere. What the heck?
So used to Gundam where it's just like one or two. Okay, so all right, explain what we got here. What are we looking at?
Just pretty much.
Yeah, how did you
So
build
how
them?
did you build it?
This was foam.
This is foam.
Yeah.
Like styrofoam blocks?
Yes,
Like a-
styrofoam, and then I built up the corners here with some putty. As you can hear, it's super solid.
is that like plumber's putty?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Like a two-part
I think
epoxy
it was
you mixed
two-part
together?
epoxy, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a plumber's type putty you use to fix cracks in pipes and that kind of thing.
Yes. I had green dust, fake greenery, and
Yeah.
I used Elmer's glue.
It reminds me of the kind of stuff you might see in like model trains and that kind of thing. This the greenery.
I think
Very
that's
similar.
the video that I watched on how I built this.
Yeah, but this is some cool stuff. And you just did this yourself? About how long did it take you to make this?
It was about 3-4 days.
Right.
It helped that I had a bandsaw and
Probably
my
a
drumming-
lot of drying time too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
By the way, when I was mentioning about the towel guy, when I said it takes about 2 days, a lot of it's dry. You got to let that paint dry.
Because these are enamel paints.
Yes.
Enamel paints are oil based and they take a lot
No,
longer to dry.
acrylic.
Is there any way?
Acrylic
Acrylic.
paint.
It's acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Is there any way to speed up that process, like a baking process?
Blow dryer.
So we should create like an instant oven for this.
Well,
You know, like put your piece
when
in the
I'm,
oven.
When
We
I'm,
get an easy bake oven. Boom.
when I'm airbrushing, it's like I'll use acrylic
As
paints.
it melts down. Oh man.
When I'm airbrushing, I'll use acrylic paints, but I'll mix it with like 91% isopropyl, and because it dries so quickly, the paint will dry very quickly when it's coming out of the airbrush. But most of these you paint by hand, don't you?
Yes. All of this was painted by hand.
Sean says plastic, but
Aggressive.
plastic plus oven equals eek.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could
is-
be. I'm not saying that it'd be fun to experiment with it.
I will say,
Flash drying it.
the silver paint that I did for these Necrons is a mix of acrylic and ink, graphite that I showed you a couple weeks ago,
You were showing me some
and
of that.
it is phenomenal. I wish I would have experimented with this sooner. I've been watching a lot of videos of ink in an airbrush, and it looks amazing.
But once again, guys, make sure to do this in a well-ventilated area with the appropriate protection, because breathing in enamel paints for long periods of time.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's how you turn into a Necron in real life.
Yeah, I think I heard it. I think I forgot who it was.
That's when
I
you
think
turn
it might
into
have been
this
somebody
guy.
that they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I was painting enamel in my room and I forgot to
Yeah.
open the windows, and then I got a headache and passed out at work.
It's like
You
what
know,
Sean was
like-
saying. This is how he ended up like that. He ended up breathing in too much paint when he was working on his minis. And he started growing extra arms out of his head.
And getting green boils.
But I like
the terrain.
I like this especially, yeah, because I see some people play the game and you could just do it on top of like a pile of books and cans and stuff on your table.
You can.
And just say, oh, that can's a skyscraper. This book is like a ridge.
I'd rather not have that. I'd rather have this.
Yeah, this is much cooler. I like this because
we
it
will have
adds a
this.
lot of flavor to the game. And
Because if you had like a shelf, right, or like
Yeah.
a shelf of these pieces where you come in to play Warhammer, you can borrow the pieces. We take your ID and you borrow the pieces, and if you break it, obviously you have to replace it. But I think it allows your mind to go there a lot more.
yeah,
And to get into the game as opposed to the fantasy, like, oh, this book is a building.
yeah, like I'd love to see like a few pieces like done up in like winter, like a frozen,
heck yeah.
planet, like
Heck
they're
yeah.
all. And you could, I'm sure there's rules and stuff too for like environmental things, like they could freeze and stuff like that. Like certain guys probably don't have weather protection.
Is it that intricate where if you're
Yes.
playing on a frozen terrain, it
Oh yeah,
immobilizes them?
I'm sure terrain and like
Oh, I
weather and
don't-
stuff affects guys.
I don't know if I ever looked that up yet.
Because
but
could you
it
imagine how
makes sense.
technical? You gotta be like, oh, we're on the desert planet. We gotta get my desert troops out. Coming back to my car for the suitcase.
So I had a thought of. I have enough army to when you guys open up the other side.
Yep.
I would be okay with donating an army so other people can learn how to play.
Yes.
No, we definitely. It's funny that you mentioned that because I was talking to Will last
Sure,
Tuesday
was that
when I
one?
was here. I got a phone call from what is it? What is this place called? Game Workshop.
Games Workshop.
Game Workshop. I got a phone call from them.
Were they threatening you?
No, their rep. No. I got
Cease
a
and
phone call.
desist.
I got a phone call from their rep, and they wanted us to begin to stock their product. So I think we're gonna have that open window to be able to acquire that. Will's just got to finish the application
Logistics.
process and the logistics. But we definitely want to include it, because like you said, a lot of times when it comes to models, at least from what I've seen, I'm not saying this happens always. The people that just some shops will just have this, and the people there know nothing about it.
Yep.
They know absolutely nada about it, and they can't encourage people to like, hey, you could start with this, and this. Kind of like what we're blessed to have a Ben with the Gundam.
On-hand
He knows what it's about. And with you and I know a couple other guys know the Warhammer. To be able to have this, like you said, and you have like a little set. Hey, you want to try it out here? Like it'd be cool to have a kill team set. Hey, you could run a quick match kill team because a lot of people seem to be very. I'll admit when I got into this, I was intimidated by
I'm
it
still intimidated
because there's a
by it.
lot going on.
I'm sitting at the table and I'm intimidated.
I'm just saying. I've owned
I'm
this
watching
stuff
and I'm
for
intimidated.
quite a long time.
Like,
I'm intimidated.
it's a lot
And
going on.
It is.
But to
But
me,
I would also recommend if anybody's really into learning how to play Warhammer,
Right.
there is a game called Tabletop Simulator on Steam. They have a free mod that you can learn how to play Warhammer stuff. It's got all the models, most of the models, and it will give you a rundown on what you need to do. And it's not just on Warhammer. You can play Dungeons and Dragons on it.
interesting. Yeah, quick Google search, guys, of that will definitely populate it because it's like here even tabletop simulator for Warhammer.
There you go. There's my Necro
Let me
boys.
show you guys real quick what I'm looking at.
So that's the next thing I'm trying to build is that little monolith.
Oh, this is actually like a 3D,
Yes.
actually fully 3D modeled thing.
Yes.
That's pretty neat.
So this could break the gap of somebody being super intimidated and not wanting to buy a army yet. And you can experiment with building a virtual army.
Kind of dip your toes in.
Exactly. And then you could see what faction you would like.
Yeah, that's the one thing is there's so many factions. Like you mentioned the Tau. Like the Tau is kind of very, very anime-ish because they got the mecha and stuff like that. Or you got the Necrons.
Which they get a lot of hate for being a fan
Yeah,
service.
I've heard about that. The Tau get hate because they made those guys to cater to the anime people, and like the orcs are all just like about the memes and stuff like that because of all the jokes and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, it's
But I did it because like I like the variety. Like you like the Necrons so much. Why are these guys your favorite? What about them do you like?
I like the aspect of just robot people, and I did not know about the lore when I first started looking into them, and
Because that's what it is. They're people, but they got like a disease that turned them into machines.
they
right?
sold their souls to a wannabe god or gods.
You showed me that figure, that big one.
Yeah, That is, they ended up.
It's massive. It's pretty large.
It is. I almost brought it with me, but we have enough going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff over here. I'm not even gonna get into.
In the beginning of the Warhammer lore, there were a race called the Old Ones. They were very, very technology advanced, and they could do gene manipulation. So they got to a point to where they could make themselves live a very long time. The Necroteer at the time were getting killed by their sun. They were getting irradiated by it, so they probably lived to 30 years old.
Okay, so they're like dying because their sun was killing them with radiation.
So they ended up creating a tomb world. So their living place that they lived were
Underground.
Yeah, and burying the people that would always die. So they started going in outer space. They would put themselves in stasis. They found the Old Ones. They were jealous. They asked them to help us out. They said no. They fought them. They lost. They somehow found a entity that was gobbling up suns and turned them into the shards that I showed you. And they wanted to feed off of other things than the sun. And that was the souls of the race that they were made flesh of. Or
Dang.
living metal.
I don't even know what to say. That's like fucking gnarly.
That is really, really, and like you said, they
I just
also
thought it was like some kind of robot disease, and then they're talking about eating suns.
they have the novels. I mean, Scott had given me one that I've started reading, and I got to go back and get back to it. But you know, the intricacy of the lore, it's really smart because when people begin to create lore around a game, it just kind of adds to it because you have more than one vertical. You have the books, the novels people can buy, the video games, the tabletop element of it, and all kind of it comes together in a nice, neat package that you can, begin to implement and recreate.
I would recommend right now, if anybody that has a PlayStation 4, check out the Warhammer 40K Inquisition Materia, I believe. It's $8 right now.
Okay.
And what is that?
It is a Diablo 3 40K game.
Oh, so it's like a hack and slash?
Yes. And shoot 'em up. The shoot 'em up part's the best. So right now on Steam store, it is super cheap and might help you with getting into some of the lore. It is a beautiful game.
Is this like some of the gameplay?
Yes.
Oh, that reminds me of like Baldur's Gate.
In a sense. More shoot 'em up though.
Show you guys what it looks like. Bam. Fast, man. So what's the preface of the game? Like, how does it work?
You are part of the Inquisition, which is the Adaptus Astartes / human, or what is it, Imperium of Man. They are very, very... They just don't... If you're a Xeno, they're going to exterminate you.
Yeah, Inquisition basically is like it's a bad idea to be anyone except the Inquisition.
Well, exactly. You said it the best way. Even if you're a human person, they okay, you're corrupted.
Yeah, pretty much everything is heresy.
Yeah.
Sean says, "Is anything in that picture alive?" I don't think.
The guy in the middle with the gun.
I think so.
Right
He's
there,
okay.
the guy in the middle.
Everything else in front of him in the wide cone is pretty much jelly.
gone. Yeah, that looks pretty gone.
So I was actually playing that before I came over.
Yeah, that guy's dead right there. And there's one. And
it looks like an Eldar, actually.
Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely, the gameplay looks pretty solid. So is it you command troops, kind of?
You command your own person. It's like Diablo 3.
So you have one soldier and you're just commanding him throughout the story.
Exactly. And it's up to 4 players.
And there are bigger games in much larger scale.
Oh yeah,
you're commanding
Total War.
Yeah,
you mentioned that.
Like Total War, it's like you're not just commanding a couple guys; you're commanding entire armies and nations and things.
Oh,
so if you're like a Command and Conquer kind of like fan, that game would probably be where you move entire troops.
Yeah,
that would actually be Dawn of War. If you're a Command and Conquer fan, I would check out the Dawn of War 1 or Dawn of War 2.
I like that because there's like a lot of variety. If you're into like shooters, there's games in Warhammer that are shooters. There are ones that are strategy. There are ones that are like action games. I think the other one was like Space Marines.
Space Marines, very good.
Yeah.
So this is another base that you built.
But this is also fantasy too, so it's not necessarily just stuck with the future stuff. You can there is Age of Sigmar, which is fantasy based, that has Lord of the Rings style.
Right. There is an element of
like classic fantasy.
So it wouldn't
yes,
be Warhammer 40K.
No,
it would be
it would just-
Warhammer
Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar. Okay.
It used to be called fantasy. They retconned a lot of stuff like they always want to do, and they just now it's Age of Sigmar.
And so that's more of a fantasy kind of world.
Definitely.
But can they interchange? Can they work together?
No.
Yeah, it's fun.
Only the chaos people, I think, can be crossed over. Because
Man, they really get you by the short hairs. Like if you want to do this, you got to do this.
It's funny you mentioned the crossovers because I play like World of Tanks, and a couple of these guys are in that game.
Really?
You'll be fighting a World War II tank, and one of these things rumbles along, and you're like, "What in God's name is that?" And it's way too strong to be fighting all this other stuff.
in World War II.
Yeah, I have seen some weird crossover stuff like that.
yeah, I believe they did that with the World of Ships too.
Yeah, World of Warships, a couple of the
So
wargaming games.
That's a custody. They are in charge of protecting the God Emperor as
like his
he's-
bodyguards.
Yeah, even though he's a corpse sitting on a golden throne.
I see a lot of memes about that too.
Yeah,
Like it's this skeleton in this giant golden regal armor
Yep.
sitting on a throne.
There's 1,000 people every day sacrificed to keep him alive.
Yeah, because it's like I guess his presence is what keeps all the warp gates or something going, which was like how people travel in the future.
Yep.
It's like the lore is nuts.
It is very nuts.
Seems pretty intense.
Yeah,
That,
can be.
And that's why, like, a lot of times, if you just break it down to its basic elements of wanting to play the game, something like kill team or something, do they have like a kill team thing of the fantasy world? Like, something very basic?
I do not know. I only have a very set few of Age of Sigmar stuff, which are the rat people, the Skaven, and that big skeleton model that I showed you.
but if
which
you know the rules for those particular units, is it pretty much like plug and play?
I probably could see somebody doing that. So yeah, because they are pretty much the same principal rules. You still get hit points, saves, invulnerability saves, because you're always gonna have to roll a dice.
Oh, okay.
So unless if you're moving, unless if you're charging. If you have to charge, you have to roll a dice.
So a person doesn't have to, you don't have to get that deep into the lore if you don't want to.
No.
And you can still participate in the game.
Yes.
And play with another person. Or, like I said, I love the idea of being able to go online, working through the simulator, becoming more familiar with the components and the techniques and the different, part steps in the game.
Yeah, it'll give you one leg up on just being completely.
New to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't even need to really. I mean, is it absolutely necessary to paint all your pieces?
No.
Because I've seen in Warhammer, like, people would literally like take a rattle can and like everything is purple, everything
This
is
one's
red.
unpainted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead. And
Yeah, if you look at a lot of my other stuff that I brought, it is just primer. Yeah.
Because I have seen people play occasionally where they're brand new to it, and they'll just be in there with like a stock army.
I've seen where people have a picture cutout on a little toothpick.
Because they don't have the money for the guy yet.
Yes.
I mean, hey, you gotta
Or
do
they
what you gotta
do, and
I
they
like
don't,
it.
or they don't have it built yet, and people are okay with that.
That's cool.
That's cool. That's really cool. I dig that. I like that a lot. It's all about trying to get people integrated, and it's also a great hobby. It can basically fire on all cylinders. Your model building, it's strategy and tactic for warfare, it's mathematics, there's a lot of different things going on at the same time.
Luck of the dice throw too.
Yeah, the element of chance and
RNG.
luck,
Oh yeah.
because you got to be able to roll with the punches, if you will.
Oh man, I've only played 3 games total. The first 2 games, mollywop.
Well, I would suggest if you have, because now we're beginning to segue into the open play night here at Flynn's on Wednesdays. So, since we're beginning to do that, we want to make sure that everybody knows that you could come and participate and go through a quick game.
Yes.
Because we have the table set up already for our pay and build nights on Thursday nights. And you probably did you come on Wednesday? One Wednesday? So So you could come technically here if someone wanted to play a game. You could play.
I
game
would
all the way
recommend
through.
on a Wednesday. It seemed to be pretty clear.
Yeah.
So I will be here next Wednesday.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to learn how to play, I will bring more than one army,
Perfect.
and we can go from there.
Yeah, I'll put a little shout out. So it'll be Kill Team. So I'll put a little shout out for Kill Team and let you guys know that you can come out, check it out yourself, and give it a shot and see if it's something that you're interested in. And like I said, at Flynn's, we're working gradually on acquiring those appropriate distributions with whatever they're called. I was freaking Games Workshop. Games Workshop to get those pieces in and to begin to ease into that world as well. To give people just another avenue, something to explore, something different. Because, tabletop gaming, video games, they kind of go, hand in hand.
All the nerdy stuff goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it all goes hand in hand. You just got to embrace all of it. So if somebody wanted to find a good resource, I know this one person, as we kind of wrap up for the evening, and this one person had mentioned a movie or a show, Astrius.
Yes.
Is there a particular YouTube channel or anything like that you would recommend that people look to if they really want to begin to get into this?
There's a gentleman that I actually watch and go to sleep to because he does other videos.
Okay.
Exploring
Warhammer. Okay. On
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. Let's see what.
He's got a pretty nice voice. Yeah, right there.
Here we go, guys. Bam.
So he also does SCP stuff.
SCP is what?
Secure, contain, protect.
Yeah.
Yeah. X creepypasta stuff.
It's yeah.
Very cool.
But he does big.
I get
videos.
around. I don't just know robots.
That's really dope. Oh, ad. There we go.
It's always an ad.
Always an ad. But
Beaker. Haven't seen him in a while.
yeah, that's really cool though. I mean, so if someone wants to come and check it out, YouTube it, Exploring Warhammer 40K.
Come to Build and Paint Nights and bug him about it. He's got all the books.
Yeah. If someone's watching from abroad, or come on Paint and Build nights on Thursday nights. By all means, come out, and eventually, the strategy is for Flynn's is to have a little library of people if they want to begin to understand or read the codexes or sit down and begin to kind of explore a new element. So it's really, man, dude, this is dope.
Most definitely.
This is really dope.
I think
But
these
also,
two are my favorite.
I'm going to be learning with all of you too, because with this new 9th edition, it's going to help me out for anybody else that comes out and learns with me, and then I can help other people out.
No, 100%. Those are your two favorite, Ben?
Yeah, I think I need to get my girls and Panzer girls on this guy.
man.
See if we can get a crossover going on that.
Is it large enough?
I got smaller ones.
Oh, you have
I
smaller
got a
ones,
variety
like
of
for
girls
those
and girls and
sizes?
Panzer.
I actually have 4 other ones that I have not built yet.
Oh, great! We can have a full-on
Holy
team.
moly.
Yeah.
But you said
Shadow
you didn't
in the
paint that.
grim dark
I
future.
did not paint this one.
But it seems pretty simple.
Blood Angels is not my style. I am more of the Death Watch, which is the Silver Shoulder Boy.
This
Yeah,
guy.
like a
And,
black.
Yeah. They're part of, I guess think of Game of Thrones, and they have the Watch.
I love this little dude barely popping out of the top. How does a guy that big even fit in a tank like this?
He just sits there and they build a tank around him.
That's more or less. It seems like it doesn't seem like he can move.
I don't think he has a choice.
He moves like this.
He's trapped in there.
He doesn't have a choice. Well, cool. Well, I mean, we threw a lot at you guys in this hour of talking about Warhammer, something a little different than we normally talk about Gundam and Gunpla and that universe. But we want to begin to integrate these different worlds into our live stream, and we'll be getting, hopefully Sean will come back and we'll have other people. I know there's other tabletop games that we could definitely begin to get into, like the Star Wars games and
Is that Legion?
Yeah, all the ship-based games and all that kind of stuff too.
X-Wing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's all these different avenues, and we want to be able to expose you guys to as much as possible. I appreciate your comment. No packs needed. That you enjoyed learning about this. Good stream, 100%. And Sobak Senpai says, "What's that Gundam in front of the box?"
Oh, there you go.
Oh, well, I guess we can
Gundam in front of the box?
End it with the good.
End
the
it
Gundam
with the
boy.
Gundam.
All right, sure.
Of
Over here?
course.
Talking about the green one or the other
Yes,
one?
the green one. I think the green one. And making sure, guys, as we kind of
I will
begin to
say-
phase out, be sure to reach
I
out
need
to
to
Sean
back up
and
that
also give
camera
any
again. Hang
questions.
on.
That thing is sexy.
There we
Yes. This is the NZ666 Kshatriya. This is one of the enemy mobile suits from Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. This is actually the first kit I ever airbrushed. So this is all airbrushed with my compressor and everything like that. But a very simple paint job. Not a lot of
Super
shading
simple.
and detail on this one. That's why the colors are kind of flat.
But you panel lined it.
I did panel line it.
After you painted it?
After I painted it, yeah. But other than that, there's a little bit of a hand brushing detail for the silver on the sleeves and around the neck. Yeah, like you can
it's
see,
like
like
really,
it's
really like...
kind of like little regal highlights
I like
to
it.
highlight the armor. But this is just one I brought in, just to kind of show like a basic airbrush job or everything like that. But this is like I said, it's from Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. It's a very large mobile suit. Like this is high grade, but it's as big as a master grade. Like
That's a high-grade kit?
that's a high grade, but there's a master grade with it just to kind of show you the scale. Hang on.
We'll put them behind him.
Just to kind of show you the scale. It's as big as a master grade. So if you were to put this guy next to something
there you
in his
go.
own scale,
Yeah.
he's massively huge in comparison.
Dang.
Hang on, we're losing this camera stand. Oh no,
There you go.
it's not staying. Okay,
There you go. Dang, that is intense.
but yeah,
That's a high grade.
This is a high grade. I actually have some of these on pre-order for the store. So in a few months' time, we will have these coming in.
One of the 530 pre-orders.
Yeah, but this is
coming in.
it's
Where are
it's
you gonna put all this?
It's in the series. This is like at this point, Zeon has had like a couple different wars with the Federation, and there's pretty much not a lot of Zeon left. They're basically just like terrorists at this point. It's like a paramilitary army at this point.
That's pretty good for paramilitary armor.
Yeah, and it's called the sleeves in the show. But
Oh, I like that.
And there's like rockets on the inside or something like that.
these binders actually all open up, and if you see inside, there's
Yeah.
like these little turkey baster looking things.
Yeah.
These are remote weapons called funnels. They will fly out and attack enemies from multiple directions. And she has, I think, 18 in total. So this thing is a real powerhouse in the show. And actually, in the first episode, this is like the first battle. As you see the Kshatriya fighting off a couple of suits from a Federation ship that's chasing them. She goes out on her own and basically just wipes them out in a couple seconds. But online account has the nickname of being called the Bell Pepper. As you can probably see,
Bell Pepper.
the Bell Pepper mobile suit. But in the story, this is piloted by a woman called Marita Cruz, who is a cyber new type, is an engineered human.
Okay.
So if you imagine like a really cold, really brutal, almost Terminator style attitude person piloting this thing, so you can imagine how brutal this thing is in combat. Pretty much doesn't hold much back. But in the context of the story, this is, like I said, part of a terrorist group, and she invades a colony to try and capture somebody, and that's when she meets the Gundam Unicorn, and that's where they have their first battle. But this is one of the more interesting designs that have come out recently. It's kind of a throwback to a design from Double Zeta Gundam called the Quinn Mantha, but it's it's actually smaller than what the Quinn Mantha was. The Quinn Mantha was even bigger than this, but I don't even think they made a kit of that. But yeah, very cool kit. We'll be getting this later, probably early next year, if the pre-orders and everything work out. But yeah, this is probably one of my more favorite model kits, and probably one of my more favorite characters from Unicorn.
Seems pretty stable too for a high grade.
It's stable, and you wouldn't think so with how heavy this guy is. I usually have it on a stand where it's constantly in flight. And just to give you an idea of some of the other effects it has too, is not only does it have these binders, but inside the binders, there are also little hidden subarms that fold out.
They can't really see it on the
Oh
screen.
yeah, it's difficult to see, but
In your face.
on each one of these binders, he has this little subarm that comes off. So if you imagine, like,
And there's only one person piloting this.
there's only one person piloting it, but the person is a genetically engineered psychic, because that's the only kind of person that can handle something this
I
complicated.
was gonna say because their mind has to control.
Yeah,
Most
it's
of it.
really neat because in the show you see her when she's just says funnels go, and she's basically like meditating, and you see on her screen all these little things she's controlling flying out around the enemy. And if you imagine
It's like Ender's Game.
you're in this giant robot, you have this little tiny person-sized thing around you. You don't really see it, and then they all start firing lasers at you simultaneously. It's a pretty gnarly scene.
Well, if you're like a paramilitary, or like you said, you're like a militia type group where there's only a handful of you.
Yeah,
You got to be able to take your punches real quickly.
Yeah, the suit looks crazy, but it's actually built from leftover parts they had. And like you say, it's like you don't have a lot on your side. You better make sure that what you do have is top tier in terms of firepower and quality.
We'll say for being a makeshift mobile suit, it looks pretty dang good.
Well, in the show, it gets messed up like really badly quite a few times. And
How old is this kit?
this was fairly recent, 2009, I think.
Okay.
So it's not an old kit. There actually is another version of it. There's the Kshatriya Bisarung,
Okay.
which is it gets damaged and then they do like a field repair.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like it only has 2 of these binders, it gets large fuel tanks. One of its legs gets ripped off and they just put a big gun there instead. So it has like a peg leg chain gun.
I will say I do like the matte color that you've
Yeah,
sprayed on.
the matte color was not so much by choice; it was by inexperience. I didn't know how else to do things at this point.
It looks very well.
Yeah, it works with the Kshatriya for what it is. But if I were to do this again now, I would do a lot more in the way of shading and detail to it. But like I said, at this point, I had done kits with rattle cans and things like that. This was the first time I had painted something using an airbrush and mixing my own paint.
No, you did a great
Looks
job.
Very well, yes.
Thank you.
I like the flat. I'm big on the flat stuff. You can get it matte to make it look less like a toy.
I like
more
it.
like a legit robot. Cool. Well, that's what the kit was, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. And once again, if you want to reach Uberscosplay, he's definitely accessible on his Facebook and his Instagram. The information is right below the main screen at Uberscosplay, UBERS cosplay. that's the best way to do it. You can reach him on Facebook and Instagram. And do we have any questions or comments?
Silverback remembers the Quinn Mantha, my man.
But the gun cannon.
We'll talk about the gun cannon another day.
Yeah.
We've already talked about so much.
So once again, yeah, we have a lot of content thrown at you guys. Be sure if you want to rewatch, by all means, you can. And Ben, I gave him the drop of the Facebook and Instagram. Those are the best places for you to be able to get access to you, right?
Yes, Instagram is the best way. Facebook, it's probably the second best way. But Instagram, I'm on there most.
And also the Discord, guys. If you want to check up or meet or talk to any of us, the Discord on the upper left, you have a chance to message privately if you have a private question, or just throw the message in the channel, because we have channels for Gundam and cosplay and our tournaments or Smash and all this other stuff that we got going on.
Yeah.
We got that.
Even if Discord isn't your bag, because a lot of people don't like it.
Right.
Get in there if you're interested in the club, because that's going to be the
100%.
best way for us to get in contact with you guys and let you know what's coming out.
100%. Once again, you can just visit flynsgaming.com/Gundam. The page is right here. Super simple. Go to the bottom. Information's there, and then you can press submit. And then, of course, you can always come in real life and handle that as well. And like Ben said, a lot of times, if you come in on Thursdays at around 8 or so, even a little bit before, there's already people here building and painting and having a good time. And we stayed till about midnight, even though last week I think we were like more around the 1 a.m. I think it was like about 1 in the morning when we decided to leave finally. So, you're by all means, you're more than welcome to hang out as long as you would like. And then if people want to find Sean, if you want to rattle off that again, where can they find you, Sean?
You can find me on Instagram, Blandish. It does start with an 8, just because, a little different. But you can always ask me any questions that you need to ask about Warhammer stuff, any painting. I would be very okay with doing a little paint sesh when things
100%.
get a little better here.
100%.
And I will give you any knowledge that I can give you.
I think we're definitely going to have like a little painting station. I mean, Ben has pushed it heavily to have that set up, because a lot of times, even with us, it's the space. Even in my house, I have a million cats and all this other stuff. So there's a lot
hair in your paint.
There's a lot going on, and doing it outside. But anyways, 100%. And guys, of course, if you want to reach us, Flynn's Gaming FL. It's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and if you're watching this on Twitch, by all means, give that follow button a click. We would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, because I got to get better at fixing the hashtags and all that kind of stuff.
Subscribe.
So we got all that stuff. We're rocking and rolling. But anyways, yes, hit the bell like Senpai says on Twitch if you want to follow. And for tournaments this week, we have tournaments on Friday and Saturday, but we do a vote, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we do a voting on Friday and Sunday's tournament.
coffin.
And then on Saturday, we do our weekly Smash
Yeah,
tournament.
it's a giant walking coffin.
So, anyways, guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will catch you guys later. If you have any questions, hit us up. And yeah, we thank you so much for coming out. Have a great night, guys.
Have a great night.
For the Emperor.
For the